What is going on, everybody? I hope you're all doing well. Today we are checking out the Revv Amplification G4 Anniversary pedal. It's a really great sounding amp in a box pedal. Sounds great to the front end of an amplifier, but you can also use it as a standalone preamp into a power section if you wish. Just to give you a little bit of insight on the G series pedals, they are based on the Revv Generator 120, which is a 4-channel amplifier. It has 3 gain channels, channel 2, 3, and 4. Channel 2 is the green channel, channel 3 is the purple channel, channel 4 is the red channel, and they all have different saturation or gain or overdrive, as well as different kind of EQ shelves. And I won't get too deep into it, but just to let you know, the original G series pedals were based on the Revv 120 Mark II. The anniversary pedal is based on the Revv Generator 120 Mark III. So 10 years in the business, all kinds of tweaks throughout the years on the amplifiers. About 6 years worth of tweaks just on the pedal circuits have led to the anniversary series pedal. It sounds, in my humble opinion, it sounds a little bit more open. It feels a little bit more amp-like, but we'll get into the tone in the demo and let you guys check that out. What's going on the top of the pedal? You have a bass, mid, and treble tone stack. We'll get into how that sounds, very active. You have a volume control. We know what that does. I'll let you check that out in the demo. You have a gain control, and we will certainly check that out in the demo. You have a switch, a 3-way switch in the center of the pedal that is the aggression switch. In the middle, it's essentially off. If you throw the switch up to what's called the blue aggression mode, it's going to give you a little bit more gain for sure, but also it's going to kind of change the way that the pedal is shelved. And really, this pedal is like 3 pedals in one just by throwing that switch. But in the blue aggression mode, as I mentioned, a little bit more saturated, a little bit more lows, maybe a little more mid-focus, and definitely some top end. If you throw the switch down to the red mode, you're going to get quite a bit more low end, quite a bit more top end, but more of the kind of airy top end. And I would say less perceived mids just because of the low and high push, and definitely more saturated. It's going to feel a little bit looser. Like in the blue mode, it's definitely tighter. In the red mode, it's a little bit more spread out in the low end, but we'll get into how that sounds in the demo. It's got a really cool new graphic and screen print on it, along with the Revv badge to obviously, because it's an anniversary series pedal, the aesthetic is really nice. You've got your ins and outs on the top of the pedal, so it's really pedal board friendly. So yeah, let's check this thing out. It is the Revv Amplification G4 Anniversary. All right, let's see what this sounds like. Here's the guitar into the thing that makes it louder. Kids these days are calling it an amplifier. I don't know what I'm doing. Here is the Revv G4 Anniversary. just to let you hear the box without changing any controls. The only thing I changed was the switch in the center, the three-way switch, which is the aggression modes on this box. I consider it 3 boxes in one just based on that. I mean, each mode sounded and felt totally different. The way the aggression switch works is in the center position, which is off. That's essentially off. That's where you would start. In the blue mode and the red mode, there's certainly more saturation or gain, but the pedals also shelved differently in each mode. So let's just start there. I'll go from the off position to the blue mode, and then we'll go off position to the red mode so you guys can hear what that's doing just on its own. So this is the off mode. Now I'll go from that to the blue mode. So immediately you're hearing a little bit more lows, not a ton, but there's more lows. There's some more, I wouldn't say glassy highs, but there's some top end brought out, along with a little bit of kind of a mid presence, not like a bump or something, you know, crazy like honky or anything, but you can hear, especially on the single notes, you're getting a little bit more of kind of a fat mid in there. As well as the obvious saturation. Now we'll go from the off position to the red mode. So in this case, quite a bit more low end, quite a bit more top end, almost the more kind of airy high top end. And I think the mids, in my opinion, are just less perceived because of the lows and highs being added, as well as quite a bit more saturation compared to the blue mode. The red mode, aggression mode, it's a little bit looser. It's a little bit kind of more pillowy in the low end, but not in a bad way. It's just more spread out. I think if you want to play a little bit tighter blue mode, if you want it to be a little bit more spread out in the low end and take up some more space that way, then the red mode would be great. In the red mode, because of the way it feels, it's pretty nice for solos. But the blue mode is nice too. More mids. Not quite as saturated, but you can turn up the gain. Okay, so that's what's going on with the modes. I'm going to just roll the gain so you guys can hear in each mode the extremes. So I'll start off position. Now I'll do the same thing in the blue aggression mode, and you'll notice just by throwing the switch with the gain off, there'll be a little bit more almost like pre-gain. And with the gain all the way off, and as you can tell, this is a high gain pedal, but with the gain all the way off, it gets a cool kind of, medium breakup blues thing. Okay, cool. I'll do the same thing in the red mode. We can roll the lows off because as you roll the gain all the way up like that, it does add lows. So you can hear how the blue mode is tighter. More mids. So yeah, with the gain all the way up, it adds lows. So you can, roll the bass basically off and it's still going to sound really big. And of course you can tweak from there. And speaking of tweaking from there, let's listen to the bass control. It's pretty active, which is great. A little dab will do you. I'm going to leave the gain right there and let you hear the lows one more time. So here's all the way off. So it can just get massive and works in both modes. I'm just going to stick in the blue mode for this. So I'll let's put the bass about right there. That's where I like it. Okay, let's listen to the mid. Mid control is great on this. So here's off. I like it about right there. Just depends on what you're doing. If you want it to sound fatter, pretty active, very dialable. Let's listen to the treble. Here's treble all the way off. Once again, it's pretty active, so a little dab will do you, like little minor changes will get you there. And you can see I was just making like minor movements and I was getting big changes. So it's a pretty active EQ section. So that's what's going on there. Same rule applies in the off mode and the red mode. You can just dial it accordingly. And last but not least, there's quite a bit of volume as far as how you can push the amp, especially if I turn the guitar back on. About right there would be unity. So if you wanted to use it more as like a push box with the gain off, all right, so that is the G4 Anniversary by Revv Amps. If you've got any other questions about the pedal, go to the website and check things out. And as always, I really appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you on the next one.